Hi guys, it's Laura Kate, and as of today, I have completed the first 2 weeks of my modified 75 hard challenge. If you watch my first check-in, you'll know that I modified one of the rules, in particular the gallon of water rule. And just as a refresher, in the 75 hard program, participants have to complete 5 tasks every day for 75 days. Those tasks are 1, completing 2 45-minute workouts, one of which must be outside. 2, reading 10 pages of a nonfiction book. 3, drinking a gallon of water. 4, picking a diet and sticking to it. 5, taking a progress photo. If a person does not complete any of those challenges one day for any reason, they have to restart the 75 days. So I definitely struggled a little bit more this week than I did in the first week, and I think that there are 2 major reasons for that. Firstly, I think that I just had a lot of momentum in the first week because, it was the start of the challenge and I was excited to be beginning. So I definitely didn't experience the same excitement about the challenge this week. And then another big change is that last week I was actually in between jobs and I started a new job on day 10 of this challenge. So for the first 9 days of the challenge, I kind of more or less had an entire 24-hour day kind of at my disposal. I could do an early morning workout, and by early morning it could be 9 or 10 o'clock, and then just do an exercise later in the evening. I had the entire day to drink the gallon of water, and I didn't really need to strategize when I was drinking it. Whereas this week I have needed to be very strategic in scheduling around the 75 hard challenge. So on day 10, which was my first day of work, I didn't complete a morning workout. I decided that I was going to save both of my workouts for after work in the afternoon. So I finished work at about 5 p.m. and then I had to do both workouts, but also they needed to be 2 separate workouts. As I said, I can't stack the workouts. So I needed to do one workout at 5:30. And then when I was finished with that workout, I needed to wait out a 3-hour period of time and then do another workout. And by the time I got to that other workout, it was 9:10 p.m. So this was not ideal. I'm not a huge fan of working out that late. So after having this experience on day 10, throughout the rest of the challenge, on the other work days that I had, I really made an effort to get up early, do one workout in the morning before work, and then save my second workout for after work. And this ended up working really well. It's just something that I needed to trial and error before I figured it out. In terms of the reading rule, I am still in the process of completing Financial Feminist by Tori Dunlap. Fortunately for me, because I haven't really been loving this book, I only have about 40 pages left to go. I've really been trying to power through and read more than 10 pages in every sitting. I'm almost done, so that's good. And truthfully, I haven't really found any difficulties in completing the reading rule at all. But in terms of the particular book I picked and the stage that I'm at with my personal finance literacy, I don't necessarily think it's adding anything to my self-development, unfortunately. No issues with the progress photos. I take my photo pretty much first thing in the morning. As I talked about in my last video, I have a tripod set up and I basically just put my phone in the tripod and take the photo in the morning. So progress photos have not been an issue. Another note that I'll make about the workouts is that I have been extremely boring this week, and I have every single day this week done a walk for my outdoor workout and yoga for my indoor workout. And I have found that I actually am really enjoying yoga. It's something that I did not do ever before 75 hard. And now that I've gotten kind of into a routine, I'm really enjoying it. And I think that doing yoga every single day, in combination with a cardio activity, has really made me see the benefits of yoga differently. I think prior to this challenge, I really saw yoga maybe as a way to improve a person's flexibility, but I didn't really understand the benefit for strength training and the benefits for stretching your muscles. And so I do actually think that having a yoga practice is assisting me with my recovery when I do other exercises in this challenge, because it's allowing me to stretch my muscles. And I don't think that I would have reconceptualized yoga in this way without having a consistent practice and without combining it with a cardio activity every day. So I am really enjoying yoga, and I'm very, very happy that doing this challenge encouraged me to try out something completely different that I'd never really done before. I did experience a few setbacks this week, but there was one in particular that I wanted to talk about. So this occurred on day 12, and essentially what happened was it was about 8 o'clock p.m. and the lock on my door just stopped working. And I was about to leave for my outdoor workout, and I wasn't able to lock my door and leave my apartment. And I started freaking out because, I still had to do my outdoor workout. So it was not an option to do my workout indoors at that time. I still needed to complete the outdoor workout. So I was stuck with really having to consider whether I would just leave my apartment unlocked and do my outdoor workout, or potentially forfeit the challenge. And obviously it would have been a huge safety hazard to just leave my apartment door unlocked and go outside and pursue a workout. Ultimately, I was able to have someone over to my apartment and fix this issue pretty quickly after it arose, so it didn't end up being a problem. But mentally, this caused me to spiral as it was happening. I was not just thinking about, the fact that my lock was broken on my door and that this was a problem, but I also had this thought in my head of, oh my God, I'm going to fail 75 hard. I'm not going to get this lock fixed in time. I'm not going to complete an outdoor workout, and all of the progress that I have had up until this point will be for nothing because I'll have to restart the challenge over again. And I think that that's kind of a dangerous way of thinking, honestly, and it's an unnecessary way of thinking, because my priority at that moment really should have been fixing this safety hazard, but it wasn't. My attention was being divided between getting the lock fixed and completing the challenge. And I think that something that I'm appreciating is that, setbacks or challenges like this come up all the time during 75 Hard. An example that Andy Frisella gave on one of his podcasts was, what if it was thunderstorming outside and you still needed to do your outdoor workout for the day? Andy Frisella has kind of said, don't do anything stupid on this challenge. Like, I don't endorse you doing anything stupid to get this challenge done. But at the same time, there's an incentive to act stupid to complete the challenge, isn't there? Because generally, when you're not doing this challenge and it's thunderstorming outside, you could just say to yourself, okay, I'm just not going to work out outside. But when you kind of think about it and you're faced with going out and working out in inclement weather versus failing the challenge, there's an incentive to work out outside and risk getting hurt. Another example of incentivizing behaving in a stupid way would be, if a person was injured and they can't take a rest day for their injury. So they're incentivized to continue working out despite the fact that they have an injury. And again, I do appreciate that Andy Frisella has specifically said, don't do anything stupid to complete this challenge. But at the same time, there's no exceptions. The rules are so inflexible. You might be on day 74 and, in order to get to day 75, you have to push through this obstacle. And you might say, I don't want to restart. I have to complete the challenge. I think that the only possible way to address these concerns is to have some flexibility with these rules so that people in this challenge can apply their own common sense to certain situations. But at the same time, the whole point of this challenge is that you have to follow these very strict rules. So I'm not really sure what the solution is. I guess it's just an imperfect challenge at the end of the day. And this is definitely one of the downfalls, is that it does incentivize people to not make the smartest decisions all the time. And I say all of this knowing that, obviously, if there's a risk of putting yourself at danger versus failing the challenge, you should fail the challenge. You shouldn't put yourself at risk. But it's not always easy to do this. Like at the end of the day, when I had this situation with my lock, I told myself, you know, if I can't get the lock fixed, I'm not going to go outside. I'm going to have to fail the challenge. But that was not as easy of a call to make as it should have been, is what I'm trying to say here. There's another critique that I had about this challenge this week, and it was that in addition to the 5 main rules of the challenge, there are also all these like mini rules and qualifications to the rules that are not apparently obvious unless you've consumed every piece of media that Andy Frisella has ever produced, or if you're very active on Reddit forums, essentially. So what I mean by this is that we have some rules such as, you know, drink a gallon of water a day. But something that's not immediately obvious is this qualification to that rule that Andy Frisella has made, which says that adding anything to your water is not allowed. So for example, you can't add lemons to your water, or you can't add cucumber to your water. And again, that's not something that's immediately apparent just from seeing the list of 5 rules, right? Another qualification with the workouts is that, you know, you can't stack the workouts. You have to do the workouts, you know, 2 to 3 hours apart. Not something that's immediately obvious from the rules. Another one of these qualifications to the rules. When you're reading your nonfiction book, you have to finish the book that you're reading before starting another one. And then one other qualification that I will mention, and this one was annoying to me this week, but it applied to me this week, is that if you're doing your outdoor workout and it's raining outside, you can't have an umbrella. And this is not something that I would have ever known unless I thought to look it up on the Reddit forum, because I did not hear Andy Frisella talk about it on the podcast that I listened to. I didn't really see it when I was looking at his website. But one day this week, it was raining and I was about to do my outdoor walk, and I thought to myself, you know, am I allowed to have an umbrella? So I thought to look it up, and in fact, no, you're not allowed to have an umbrella on your outdoor workout if it's raining. So ultimately, I did my walk in the rain. But there's just so many of these rules and qualifications that are not immediately obvious unless you consume a lot of content from Andy Frisella. So basically, the bar to entry to this challenge is a lot higher than just knowing these 6 rules. And you need to do a lot of research, and there needs to be a lot of investment in making sure that you're doing this challenge 100% correct in order to get it right. And so I think that this makes the challenge more difficult to follow because firstly, you know, it's not just 6 rules. It's actually more like 20 rules, right? When you consider all of the mini rules and qualifications. But then also, the fact that these rules are not as easy to find just makes it difficult to complete the challenge, because you might not be complying with a rule set by Andy Frisella and you may not even know about it. So I don't know, that's just another thought that I had. Like, I think that it should be much easier to, you know, follow this program. In any case, this has been my experience on week 2 of 75 Hard. I hope you enjoyed this check-in video, and I will see you next week when I finish week 3.